Hello there. Welcome to Blitz Transmissions. I'm Tommy. This is episode 36 of the Blitzcast. Before we get into the content of this week's episode, as always, you know there's about 1.5 million links in the description below for you to check out. First and foremost, if you are not subscribed to Blitz Transmissions on YouTube, you should do that because I have awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. If you are an ARC Trooper in my Patreon, you would have seen this episode early. If you'd like access to early content, monthly giveaways, other awesome benefits, make sure to check out the link to my Patreon in the description below. If you are a member of the Rancor Battalion YouTube channel membership, basically if you'd like to support an above and beyond way that doesn't have to do with Patreon, maybe you don't care about all the content that I'm making, I don't know why you wouldn't. Maybe you just want to care about the reviews that I'm pumping out. I got like 20 reviews that I got to record for the channel that I'll probably get done over the course of the next 4 or 5 days here. You can check that out. You get to vote on what I review next for the channel as well, which I know a bunch of people just did for the channel membership. So if you want to get involved with that, you can check out the link to the YouTube channel membership in the description below. Become a member of Rancor Battalion. I also have all kinds of other cool stuff like the Blitz Transmissions merch. I'm wearing one of the t-shirts. Jen's wearing one of the hoodies. We're twales today because we're in love. We have, spoilers by the way, I'm joined by the lovely Jen this week. But, yeah, if you want to check out the Blitz Transmissions Armory over on Printify, you can check out the link to that in the description below, as well as links to my Discord, my Instagram, my Blitz Bounties Instagram page, my X, my TikTok. Got all kinds of cool stuff going on. So, with that, I just want to make a little quick disclaimer. If I'm coughing during this episode, it's involuntary. All you guys need to know is I inhaled smoke today at a structure fire. So if you know what I do for my job, then that'll make a little more sense to you. But if you don't know, then now you're still not going to know. But yeah, so if I'm coughing or anything, it's just because I inhaled a pretty unhealthy amount of smoke today at a couple houses on fire. So, so Jen is back. Jennifer, how are we doing? How are things going?
I'm doing well. The sun is shining. The semester's over.
Yes.
Birds are singing again. Life is good again.
Life is good.
People are happy.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for summer.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get that itch of itch. All right, let's have consistent warm weather.
Yeah.
Let's have fun weekends again. Let's do stuff. I'm feeling that I'm emerging from my enclosure.
Nice.
Summer ready.
Nice. So guys, this week we are going to be going to ICCCon in Nashville, Tennessee. Shout out to ICCCon. Jen, if you look under my wallet there are the press badges. Watch the cup of water. We got our press badges right here. Again, thank you to ICCCon for giving us press with Selbulba on the press badge there. If you guys see us there, please say hi. I would love to say hi to people who know Blitz Transmissions. Check it out. I got fresh in from Sticker Mule, 3" by 3" die-cut Blitz Transmissions stickers. If you're watching right now on Spotify or YouTube, you'll be able to see this. Got those die-cut stickers. They're water-resistant, so they're technically, you could put them on your car, you could put them on other stuff. I put them on my Owala water bottle. Shout out to Jen for the Owala water bottle. It's actually really cool, I won't lie. The straw feature, it's like good for my
Not sponsored, not
my
sponsored.
hand-to-mouth fixation, you know? But yeah, I have a sticker on there. It's on there really securely. Very happy with it. Good quality stickers. Yeah, if you see us at ICCCon, say hi. Walk around the sales floor together. Hang out. Shout out to Shadow Dragon, Dr. Forgon, Dr. Forgout, as some of you know him. He told me he was wearing a Blitz Transmissions shirt in North Carolina, which is not where he lives. And he was walking around in public wearing it, and someone walked by him and said, "Hey, shout out Blitz."
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he just told me yesterday.
That's crazy.
Yeah, someone was walking by and goes, "Oh, shout out Blitz," and he was like, "Yeah, shout out Blitz."
That's
actually
wild.
Because he has one of my shirts, and he was wearing my shirt. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He said it was like it's kind of like almost awkward. It was like because they caught him off guard.
Yeah.
Like he's never had that happen before where someone recognized the logo of the shirt.
Yeah.
You know. So that was pretty awesome.
Some like loser YouTube channel.
Yeah, who makes a meaningless bracket.
Yeah.
And, all that garbage.
Cringe lord. Who would want to wear that merch?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I gotta say, that was an awesome story.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so shout out Dr. Forgout. Love you, man.
All love.
All love. I'm just talking shit. So let me see. Where are we? We're in Star Wars, and Star Wars has been crazy. It's been peak. So Jen, before we get into all the Star Wars talk, I just have to ask.
What?
Amy or Snud?
Honestly, gotta give this one to Snud.
I gotta give this one to Snud. Let me know in the comments, guys. Amy or Snud?
And you can guess the spelling of Snud.
Guess the spelling of Snud. Shout out to the Zoo Boy from Monday Night Figure Ball for that one, for that joke. Jennifer, we had a little bit of Peak Door this week. Episodes 7 through 9?
Yeah. Yeah, the third
of the 4 acts of Andor. We had a bombshell dropped on us this week.
I've never been so, complete, my entire body was feeling all of my emotions while watching those.
Dude.
I was clenching everything.
Yeah.
It was so suspenseful.
Yeah.
I was having such visceral reactions. And I felt like I wasn't breathing at some points.
Yeah, same.
We both were all of our reactions were very involuntary and just I would like to say that was probably the best piece of Star Wars media ever.
No, it's up there.
I've watched.
I have not felt such visceral emotion towards Star Wars in a really honestly, it's probably, like you said, top 3, if not the most emotion that I've ever felt watching Star Wars.
I felt on the brink of tears the entire time. Not just because I was feeling sad, but just there was so much happening, and they did it so well that I was just overwhelmed and emotional.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was on the brink of tears.
Yeah.
Just
storytelling is so powerful.
God. Yeah. It felt different than watching Order 66 or watching just a really sad story of So
obviously spoilers going into episodes 7 through 9 of Andor. If you for some reason haven't watched them, I beg of you to watch them. It is absurdly good.
If you have any interest in the Empire, in the rebellion story of the original trilogy, then this is the show to watch. Yes.
I think what we've kind of been doing the last couple weeks here, just kind of lumping all 3 episodes together, rather than trying to go one by one, because it really is all the same story, just broken into 3 parts. I think we have to dive right into the Gorman massacre that occurred in the 8th episode, so the second act of the 3. I found myself on the verge of tears watching the Gorman massacre when it actually finally unfolded. I don't know if that's because of how well they played the tension. One of my biggest takeaways from this was just how terrifying an average Imperial stormtrooper was to me. Stormtroopers have always been like the meme almost of pop culture. Like it's a joke that stormtroopers can't hit what they're shooting at. Like it's a very common joke. They've even made a joke about it in the Mandalorian season 1 finale. A lot of times, though, we're also dealing with our heroes are larger than life. They have the Force, or they're a really good shot, or they're like a highly trained, operative in a military background. Whereas, like, with this, it was just people. People, the public, who have a lot of times, no background in combat or tactics or anything, and people who are very prideful people like the Gorman, who were lured into a trap by the Empire. And there's that one shot in particular when they're all in the plaza, Palmo Square, is that what it's called, where they give the order to basically block all the exits, and you see this probably 24 stormtroopers come down and block the steps. That was the moment where I was like, I was terrified. I was like, these guys are going to gun these people down.
Yeah.
It was so incredibly powerful.
Like, I think we knew that was probably the end that they were looking for, was bringing everyone in and killing everyone. But I feel like you said, that was the moment of like, oh my god, like they're just going to
kill them all,
spray these people down. And like you said, I feel like just the shot of the stormtroopers on the steps, like even before the shooting starts, it was like it felt way scarier than it's ever felt like.
For me, it was a feeling of like dread. I think is a good word for it. Like I was dreading. Kind of from the beginning that Gorman is going to get annihilated. Luthen kind of alludes to it when he's talking to Cassian. And in Rebels, in Season 3, when Mon Mothma is on her escape route, she's talking about Gorman in that speech.
I don't think I realized that.
Gorman is from the expanded universe. Okay. So it's been around in the Star Wars universe for a long time, but only mentioned briefly by name in Rebels. This shows you everything. And much like what we saw on Ferrix in the season finale of season 1 of the show, we see how drawn out it is. Yeah. They are really driving home. You see every person that gets killed. Yeah. You see, you see different reactions to people. For me, it was so powerful seeing the one freedom fighter. I'll call them freedom fighters. Yeah. Sitting literally having shell shocked. Yeah. In the middle of the square, like he can't shoot his blaster. He's like just having a panic attack in the middle of the square. Insane. Compared to someone who's not afraid to be shooting, compared to someone who's trying to save their lover over themselves, and not focusing on the battle at hand. People not trained at all, just shooting at military trained operatives. And it was and also the planning on the Imperial end. And I feel like as I talk, I think of 10 more things that I want to touch on. So I'll stop for now.
I think what was the most emotional, I feel like it was more emotional right before the massacre started, because we knew it was coming.
Yes, and you're like waiting for it.
The suspense, but also them singing their national anthem.
That is true. That
was, it was so emotional, and the one man, I don't know do we know his name?
I think he has a name.
The one man that in the first set of episodes he talked in front of the group about fighting against the Empire.
And he did the Gorman middle finger.
Yeah. And then he's the one starting the song right before, and he knows, I think that was the other part, is the people starting to realize what was happening. And
it's giving me chills as I'm remembering what happens. Yeah.
So the father of, or
he's the mayor. I think he's like the mayor. He's a politician.
He's realizing it. He realized it beforehand, but as they're all in this group, you know, the one freedom fighter, he's realizing what's happening, and he finds this. I'm pretty sure it's his son. And he starts singing the national anthem, and and then the son starts crying, and it's just like a single tear drops. Like that was the most emotional and raw and human scene I've ever watched on Star Wars, or even like in general.
I need to watch it again.
Yeah.
That's one of those episodes, specifically the 8th episode. I need to watch it again. And I'll never experience it for the first time again, but that was just, and obviously it's a pretty direct, the inspiration for it was taken from France in World War II, the French Resistance. Very similar demonstrations made in France, just completely gunned down by the Nazis.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It really was. The sniper. The planning on the Imperial end was just so... And it was so real. That's why, again, it's like the Empire is evil in this show. And seeing how that Captain... I keep wanting to say Captain Styles. That's not his name. That's a different Star Wars character's name. It's Captain Styles. Captain something. He comes in. He likes this. You know, this is his job. And you can tell that Dedra's kind of like unsure of it at this point.
Yeah.
But she knows that it will get her and Cyril to a safe place.
Yeah, we need to talk about that too, but in a second.
Yeah. And the setup of it, as soon as in the 7th episode, as soon as I saw those unprofessional Imperial, that's Imperial infantry.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw those guys, and I saw how young they all were, and someone even, I think a random guard even made a comment, I was like, those guys are fodder.
Yeah.
Those guys are expendables for something.
Yeah.
And I was right. In the 9th episode, when they have the sniper that takes one of them out to incite the fighting, and then you see all of them end up dead. Even the sergeant ends up dead on the floor. I really thought Cassian was going to be shooting these guys, someone would shoot the sniper or something. No, just a loss all around.
Yeah.
You know. And it was crazy. Did you want to get right into Dedra and Cyril, or where did you want to go with this?
I want to talk about kind of episode 7 because it was, because we watched it and we were like, oh, that was kind of a slower episode. Like, where are they leading into this? But one of the main focuses was Cyril and Dedra having a couple confrontations. Yeah. And honestly, I was getting very confused by not only Cyril very much like he got angry in the 8th episode, but like I was very confused on where his thought process was. Because up until then we were like, Cyril is purebred Imperial, like he is for the cause, same with Dedra. But episode 7, Cyril's starting to go, question everything.
Yeah. Mostly, and Dedra's leaving him in the dark.
Right, and I think it was mostly because of the secrets.
Yes.
And but also because really Cyril hadn't seen just like loss of life yet. Right. He's seeing the Imperials fighting the bad guys. That's the view that he's seen so far. Yeah. And so once he started realizing, and he's also gotten to know some of these rebels, even though it was undercover. Yeah. He's realizing, oh my gosh, they're just gonna murder all these people.
All of them.
But what really threw me off was in episode 8, when Dedra was also like hesitating, and she had that panic attack at one point, and I was really surprised by that, honestly.
I think for Dedra, it was more like she values her relationship with Cyril, and she knew that if Cyril found out what their plan was, he would be upset. I don't think she cared about the Gorman people. Right. I think she cared about her relationship selfishly with Cyril. And Cyril obviously kind of like having an existential crisis almost about like this system that I believed in and I fought so hard for and I've done so much for, is I'm on the wrong side, you know, like this conviction he's had since day one that the Empire is right, and kind of all that crashing and burning when he's standing in that crowd, you know, like we're the bad guys, you know. And
now that you're kind of saying that, I'm thinking with Dedra having that panic attack in the safe room.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's like her realizing that she can't have both. She can't have a relationship that's actually caring and, you know, in their own weird way. Yeah. And also be a higher up in the Empire and lead charges like this. No. And that makes a lot more sense with like her hesitating. Well, and I think that was mostly because Cyril was out there, and I think she knew if Cyril leaves that building, he is also going to die.
He's dead. Yeah.
You know?
Now, the way Cyril died.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Is correct.
I have been waiting for Cyril and Cassian to have a run-in this whole time.
Yeah, I kind of like never realized like in season 1, like it never happened, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly forgot that like the whole thing with season 1 was that Cyril just found out about the conspiracy with Cassian and all that, like, and he found
Cyril lost his job because of Cassian,
right? Yeah. Like, and he knows Cassian, but they never had a confrontation. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, like just him seeing Cassian across the way, him tackling him before Cassian shoots Dedra.
And the craziest part is Cyril had no idea that Cassian was gonna. I think what Cyril in that moment, he turns and he sees him, and it's that realization of all of this happened to me because of you. Yeah. And it was just seeing red. I'm gonna kill you because you caused me all this pain.
Yeah, butterfly effect.
Yeah,
realizing
literally.
The start.
And that moment where, like, it's funny because, like, this show has done such a great job of, like, better than most other Star Wars shows, in my opinion. I know Cassian Andor is going to live through the end of this show. I know Mon Mothma is going to live through the end of this show. But I found myself, like...
on the edge of my seat.
Biting my nails, like, oh my God, is he going to kill Cassian? And...
I was ready.
He was kicking his ass too. Bro. Like, and I mean, it makes sense. Like, Cyril did have like, you know, combat training when he was like that corporate cop. You know,
he was hyped up on adrenaline. He's seeing red. Like,
yeah, and it was
person like
Cassian wasn't seeing it coming.
And he was obsessed about Cassian in the first season.
Yeah. And clearly, Cyril's a fucking. Oops, sorry, bad word. It's PG-13. You get one pass. It's clearly Cyril is a psychopath. Yeah. Like, he's a psycho. I mean, he chokes out Dedra.
Dude, we have to talk about that. That was crazy.
Was. But, when he points a blaster at him, who are you? You could see just a total, again, another just complete existential crisis of, like, you don't even know who I am, and I've dedicated, like, my life over years to find you.
And that's also what I keep remembering, is that this is now 4 years...
later.
Since the end of season 1. Yeah. That I keep forgetting that because we're watching it sequentially, and so... But that's crazy too to think about. It's
Yeah.
like, it's probably been 5 years since the start of season 1.
Yeah.
Or at least.
Yeah.
So, like, half a decade that Cyril has known about Cassian and has been obsessed about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. It was just wild. Like, and then the mayor of all people.
Yeah.
Being the one to kill Cyril. Yeah.
Because he found out that he was Imperial and the mayor saw by the end, the mayor saw the full picture, and even when Cyril wasn't fully realizing it, of even if Cyril was just a pawn in the game, Cyril infiltrating their rebellion was the reason that the Empire had intel on them, and why they failed, and that they were destined to fail the entire time. They were orchestrated to fail.
How about another good one is the bellhop in the hotel.
Love the bellhop.
How about he's the one that gives Cassian the rebellions are built on hope line, and then Cassian gives it to Jyn in Rogue One, and then Jyn is the one who famously says it, in Rogue One. And she's like known for that in the Rebel Alliance going forward in the universe. And to know that and he has like he has a grenade.
Yeah.
Just insane.
Him just being for the rebellion. I mean, we kind of caught that in the first in last
arc
with Gorman saying like, my father died. And,
basically Tarkin landed his ship on a bunch of people. In Palmo Square.
What the memorial was for.
Yeah, that's what the memorial is.
So that was also interesting to see that even if they weren't a part of the organized rebellion group in the city, there's always a rebel in
somewhere
in the area, which goes into the whole idea throughout Star Wars of there's friends.
There are more of us, Poe.
Yeah.
There are more of us.
And I think that's why the Luthen's phrase for everyone is, "I have friends everywhere." That's a theme throughout Star Wars. Is there are always more rebels. There are always people that are turning against whatever oppression is happening.
Yeah.
So I thought that was just a cool little snippet of a story of this dude who was against the Empire. He did what he could do even without joining the group.
Yeah.
And he did the grenade, the kamikaze grenade.
Yeah.
But
how about how absolutely terrifying the KX security droids were?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And that's like low key,
much taller.
Low key, that's how they are in the Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor video games. Except you're a Jedi and you have a lightsaber, and in the second game you also have a blaster.
Yeah.
So you can kind of handle them pretty easily, but they do the same thing. Like there are some of them that have no blasters or like a baton or anything, and they just run at you. They grab you and they slam you on the ground.
Dude, the one throwing the mayor's daughter.
And killing her instantly.
Oh my god, that was...
Or, like, how they're jogging, like, chasing people, like, to pick them up and just, like, they're not even using weapons.
Yeah.
They're just killing people by throwing them.
And just the blank stares.
Yeah.
And it was kind of crazy because I remember how funny...
K2SO
is in Rogue One, so... Yeah, it was really freaky. I wonder if I'll see him, if I'll have a moment, like, rewatching Rogue One.
I will say, it was cool to watch the little whiny dude that killed Cinta, not redeem himself, but at least do something that mattered.
Yeah. By
saving Cassian and Will.
Well, and he didn't talk as much, even beginning of these episodes when the rebel group were meeting. Like, he wasn't just, like... talking out of line the entire time like he was before.
Yeah.
He would be yapping throughout that entire meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that definitely showed growth for him.
You know, the other part that really had me emotional in that episode was like tears in my eyes when Drina, Will's girlfriend, is giving the SOS over the intercom, and Cassian is just listening to it as he's riding away. Oh, dude, heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. They're slaughtering us. They're murdering us. And meanwhile, you have all the imperial controlled mainstream media.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm sorry guys, like Star Wars, I hate when Star Wars gets into politics, but it's not politics when it's just true. Like, yes, the government obviously has a say in what the mainstream media talks about. Absolutely. Like, it's a real thing in America. It's a real thing all over the world. And to see the mainstream media automatically doing damage control and spinning the narrative.
Poor Imperial's dead.
Imperial heroes dead.
Yeah.
Violent terrorists, doing a violent demonstration. Yeah. Like, it speaks volumes to our reality today. And meanwhile, you have innocent families slaughtered by the Empire. Yeah, it is so insane. I will say though, I did feel for the first time in the show, I did feel for Cyril's mom. Mm-hmm. Oh, Cyril's mom.
Yeah.
You could tell she knew he's dead.
Yeah.
My son's dead. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's now that I'm thinking about it, it's interesting all of the foreshadowing that's been happening of like. Cyril's in Gorman, and she's like, when will you be leaving this place? Like, and what is your job? Like, and she's questioning him, throughout this.
Yeah.
And to this point where she sees that something happened in Gorman, and she immediately knows that means like her
my son's dead. My son's
like,
dead.
I don't know. I think they did that very intentionally of. His mother is, maybe overbearing, but she is concerned about her son because he left this job that was secure and he moved to this planet and is just counting spiders, supposedly.
And she has a spider.
And
I think I'll name it Cyril.
And so I think that was intentional with the writers of like... Of his mom being in all 3 sets of episodes, of like being happy that her son was back, and in a relationship even, and Dedra like standing up for Cyril and that whole thing, really for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, even just the shot of her like being comforted by friends like that was emotional.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I mean, because these are all people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Cyril again had, like we saw, like he had an epiphany. Mm-hmm. Like, whoa, we're not the good guys. We are the bad guys here.
Yeah. Can we talk about Cyril choking out Dedra?
Let's get into it.
Because
I don't have much to say, to be honest.
I mean, I guess not much to add, but I
think it spoke to
his crisis.
Yeah.
Like their whole dynamic since season 1 is, she's in control, to use a stereotype, she wears the pants in the situation.
We don't like that phrase, Jen.
Well, that's why I prefaced it as being stereotypical. And so this is... It was showing Cyril taking control and Dedra losing control.
Yes.
And which also leads to her having her moment in the safe room.
And it speaks control, Dedra losing control over everything in this arc. She never had any control to begin with. Yeah. She, just like everyone else, was a puppet. Yeah. A pawn all along.
So honestly, I felt like that was like a transfer of power of Cyril having this realization and taking control in a violent way. Not
I mean, they're both pieces of shit.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be real. They're both bad guys here.
But also Dedra like you said, losing control of everything, realizing that, even if she wanted to stop what was about to happen, she couldn't.
Cyril deciding he was done being a good boy that just takes orders.
Yeah.
Finally taking control of what he's always wanted, which was just being in charge and having some sort of say. But obviously in a very violent way, but again, we see that with Cassian. Like when he attacks Cassian, this is Cyril taking matters into his own hands. No one can stop him at this point, But
in this oppressive environment, we can't have a character like that. We can't have a person having this realization and taking control, but also being like kind of a bad guy. And
I agree.
I think him dying after this whole character arc is symbolic of, even when you're having an epiphany and you think you're in control now, you are not.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think it was to show that there are no satisfying endings in this time period.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would love to get it. If you have anything else for Gorman, I'm pretty much good on Gorman.
Just a unbelievably well done episode. All the way to the credits, playing the anthem during the credit roll.
I just witnessed in that moment. I was like, I've witnessed some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Again, this is why Andor is a cut from a different cloth. Mm-hmm. This is made for adults. It's not. It's made to show real people, real struggles. Yeah. And that's why nothing should ever be like Andor. Yeah, Jen and I sat through the whole credits. Usually we just skip and go to the next episode. We had to silence.
Yeah.
We just sat through the credits silent, emotionally destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
Moving on, I want to talk about Mon Mothma. Genevieve O'Reilly. You've done it again. Mommy Mothma, you've done it again. Her episode was what I was really wanting to see.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted to see her breaking point. Was I kind of hoping the Emperor would be present?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But again, I loved the politics of it all. The intentional decision by the Empire to have the Gorman senator arrested in front of all the other senators to make a statement like, speak out and you'll be like him. You'll be seen as him, a traitor. He's totally dead.
Yeah. Oh.
And then, again, the Empire having the next Senate session early in the morning, so not as many senators will show up. I loved that. It's so real. Again, it's so real. People that are manipulative love to find sneaky little ways to do so like that.
Yeah.
Jimmy Smits was not with us for Bail Organa, but his replacement really won me over in this episode.
Yeah.
I was right there. Yes, Bail Organa. Yep, no problem. I no issues with him. He was an amazing actor. But again, Genevieve O'Reilly as Mon Mothma just stole the show in this episode. Yeah.
I loved just the shot of her mumbling her speech to herself.
Yes.
In the courtyard or wherever that was. They took a second to show her being nervous and show her doing a very human thing, which is practice her speech before she does a big presentation. Yeah. I really appreciated taking a moment like that before Luthen comes in and talks to her and stuff like that. I don't know. It was so, again, very raw and human. Yeah. Which is the theme of Andor. But, it was showing how nervous she was. But also showing how strong she was to still go through with it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about her assistant being involved with Luthen.
Yeah. We saw him in the beginning of the season.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about that?
What about it?
Dynamic. Mon being upset with him that he was involved with Luthen.
I think for Mon, it was more of I am always walking around eggshells with everyone that I'm with. My own husband, my own daughter, my in-laws, my driver is an ISB plant. Like other senators, I have to watch what I say. I can't, he was the one person that she really felt like she could just be herself with and talk to, and to find out that he was a spy for someone. It wasn't, I don't think so much that it was Luthen. I think that it was just that he lied to her. Yeah. And was hiding something from her, and she trusted him. And I think it was in that moment, it was just a lot of hurt.
I will say, I do think, I agree with you, but I do think there was part of it with Luthen, because I was catching, like, her mistrust of Luthen, too.
Oh, Luthen had Tay killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and so that dynamic, too, of, like, is this guy that says he's for the cause, is he really is he the best option that we have? Yeah. And then you find out that your assistant who is your one person, is also involved with this guy that's, like, still kind of sketchy.
He has people killed. I mean, he again, it's like Saw Gerrera. Like, Luthen is willing to match the crazy of the Empire. He's willing to match that energy. Yeah. And that's how you win. That I hate to say it, but Luthen is how you win.
Well, and I think that episode 9 was for Mon to see that.
To know that she could trust Luthen. I think that she was kind of getting the impression, like, am I just like everyone else? Am I just going to get whacked as soon as I'm seen as compromised or no longer useful? Mm-hmm. Because I think that's what it was. And I think when Luthen tells her that there's a spy in Bail Organa's, like, pickup crew that she doesn't even know of, that not even Bail knows about, trust me. Yeah. I think Cassian getting her out of there was her kind of realizing, no, Luthen saw, like, she says, Luthen, you don't see me as important. Yeah. Luthen did see her as important, yeah.
But I do think, like, I think Mon, because she's a senator, she was like, how can I help from the political side? And I think this episode, to lead into where she is in Rebels, was to show how she gets from mistrust of someone who gets people killed and matches the crazy, to, like, being okay with Cassian killing her driver in front of, like, she might not be okay with it, but, like, understanding that that's a necessary, consequence.
Very, very real.
Real consequence. Yeah. I mean, and Cassian being okay to just take action. I think she's been thrown off by that up until this point, and because it was, like, directly her safety on the line, she saw what everyone else has been seeing all along.
What great lengths Luthen was willing to go to keep her safe.
To keep her safe, yeah. And also what the rebellion needs to be ready to do.
Yeah. Her speech was amazing. Ugh. Speech was very powerful. It was exactly what it needed to be. It wasn't drawn out. It wasn't, too long. It was great. It was great. I loved the whole dynamic of it. I love the Senate stuff. I really do, because it reminds me of the prequels and the Clone Wars. And Mon Mothma was a senator during the Clone Wars, so it was just all stuff that I really enjoyed. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else worth mentioning with that side of it. I loved the ISB plant. Yeah. She looked ugly as hell too, man. She looked like a snake. I knew right when I saw her. Yep. That one right there.
That's her.
That's that Uggo right there.
Jesus.
I know it.
I really liked Cassian took a moment to say to Mon, like, I literally was in Gorman this morning, or like whatever he says.
Yeah, I was in Gorman.
And just to kind of like, because she is talking about it and she is advocating for it in her speech, or advocating for the people of Gorman, and having Cassian where she's, mistrusting of him, and he's like, I was literally in Gorman this morning. Like, I don't know. I thought that was also a cool moment.
And even then, though, Cassian has that again, Cassian has had nothing but doubt the entire show up until this point, which we'll get into that last. The whole thing with Bix. Cassian, again, is at Luthen's store, sitting with Clea, who, again, one of my favorite characters in the whole show. He is like, I'm done. I'm out. I just watched a massacre. I just watched a bunch of innocent people get killed. I quit.
Yeah.
And Clea's like, so what? So you get to decide when you're finished now?
Yeah.
There's a fight going on. A bunch of people just died. They didn't have a choice. And you're fighting, and you just get to quit now? That's it for you? Mm-hmm. Now that you've seen the worst of the atrocities of the Empire firsthand? Twice they did it on Ferrix, on your home planet, and now they did it again. It was a great speech, a great reinforcement of morale. Mm-hmm. Really bringing Cassian back to what matters. It's more than just you. It's more than just what Cassian wants, which in part came back to a very sad thing. Bix leaving.
Yeah.
Cassian. That was very unexpected for me. Which we also had like a force.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too.
Yeah.
I knew something. I had a feeling something was going to happen with Bix.
Yeah, really. I thought she was going to die.
I thought she was going to die too.
Yeah.
But it was more heartbreaking that she left for the cause. Like, because that, first of all, she says, I'll come for you after the war's over. And that's not gonna happen.
I have this weird feeling that at the last scene of this show,
it's gonna be an epilogue.
Epilogue of Bix with B2 Emo coming to visit, like, this memorial of the fallen heroes or something.
My God.
And
probably.
paying respects with maybe Luthen's there, paying respect to Cassian.
Probably. What else does she say? Well, just the whole reason is, and I think because of the Force moment with the healer, Bix is realizing just how important Cassian is to the cause. And
really, and it's true. I mean, Cassian's biggest priority is getting back to Bix.
Yeah.
It's not to fight for the rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's finally seeing that, if he didn't have this distraction, she's seeing herself as, and she is to Cassian, in a not negative way, I guess.
Right,
But
right.
if you want to put your all into something, the way that really he needs to do in order to make the impact that he's capable of, she needs to not be in the picture.
Yeah.
But just and that's her sacrifice to the rebellion.
It is more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's her fighting the cause in the way that she understands. And I'm sure, she probably is doing something in her own way, just not on Yavin, with that group. But yeah, the video was heartbreaking.
Bro got left a voicemail. Bro got broken up with over the phone. Damn.
Yeah. It was really...
Bro got broken up with over a Snapchat. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, very sad.
But it's because, he would have talked her into staying.
He would have.
Because she wants to stay. She wants to be with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, heartbreaking. I want to talk about the healer moment because... So she calls him a messenger. Where are you pulling from that?
Messenger of the cause.
just like
wherever Cassian goes, he brings hope to others. Brings it to Jyn in Rogue One. He brings it to the people of Gorman. He brings it to all the people that he interacts with. He brings it to, in a way, General Draven, when he brings back that KX security droid that we find out ends up being K2SO. He's a messenger. He brings the message of rebellion to people, and he makes people feel compelled. He did to Mon Mothma. He makes people feel compelled to fight. Narkina 5 in the prison. He is a messenger. It's his calling, and he's more than just a nobody.
He's not a cog in the machine.
He's not. He is causing it. He's causing movement. He's the oil you put into the machine to make it work better. And that's 100%. The Force Healer thing was really cool. I like that they brought that in. I know Tony Gilroy's not a huge fan of bringing in the Force stuff, but it was a great way to do so. Kind of like it with Chirrut Imwe, like a very it's acknowledging its existence in a very intelligent way.
And it was in a consistent way too, of like Cassian not really being into all that mumbo jumbo type stuff. But then feeling it, feeling the life force.
And I think when he felt scared, I think it was more he's afraid of who he is. He's afraid of how important he is.
Because of Bix.
He has imposter syndrome because he cares more about Bix than anything else.
He wants to protect her because she is his family from his old life. Before all this craziness happened. So that's why she had to leave.
Cassian has to let go of his selfishness, in order to really, truly be in this.
Which is the way of the Jedi.
And that's a wrap. That's all I got. Anything else that you want to bring up? I feel like I've covered all my bases on these episodes.
Just watch it.
You need to watch it.
I would hope that you wouldn't watch this episode if you didn't watch those episodes. If you didn't watch the newest episodes of Andor, but if you haven't, please do.
Absolutely.
Like, so serious. I feel like that was some of the best TV period that I've ever watched. Some of the most powerful, moving TV I've ever watched in my life. Like, I felt it in my bones. Same. And I know, and it wasn't just because I have all the context of Star Wars and I'm,
now you're a pro. Now you're a pro. You've seen it all.
But honestly, I feel like I would have felt as emotional with just watching the first season of Andor and watching up to this. It's just good storytelling, powerful storytelling, and showing how you can have real life parallels in this fantasy world without it feeling like it's out of place in that world.
And as Krennic says, and it appears spiders are not the only thing on Gorn.
That was really good.
Thank you.
You're really good at impressions.
Thank you.
Did you know that about Tommy? He's really good at voices.
If you want me to do an impression for you,
like Zero the Hutt, come get a Blitz transmission sticker at ICCCon, or I have them on my Printify. You can buy one yourself.
I can't believe the dog just slept through
that. or Count Dooku could present you with a sticker.
Your swords, please. Come get a sticker from Blitz Transmissions.
What other one you have?
I don't know. Low-key been doing Cad Bane recently.
You're the lawman. You're the lawman. Come get a sticker. You want the badge?
No badge.
Not my best. I'm not really. I haven't perfected Cad Bane yet, but
you're the lawman. You want the badge?
Oh my goodness. Who else do I do? I was doing another one recently. Oh.
Are you for the cause? Saw Guerrera says you need a Blitz transmission sticker. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. Check out my social media. Join Patreon. Become an ARC trooper like you were always meant to be.
If you become Saw Gerrera, I'll choke you out like fucking Cyril.
Oh, man.
I hate Saw Gerrera.
Check out YouTube channel membership.
I like your Count Dooku the best, I think. I think it's the most satisfying to me.
Your swords, please.
See, he has to say the line so he can get it.
That's the only one I have to like say a line because I have to make sure it sounds right, you know.
Join the channel membership. Join Patreon. And become an ARC trooper.
It's good, right?
And check out social media. Twice the price, double the fall.
Okay, guys, it's late.
Make sure to check out the channel, or Bo Gullet will know the truth.
We'll catch you next time on the Blitzcast.
Goodbye!
Bye. See you at ICCC.
See you at ICCC.
Breaking off. All units, fire at will. 1-2, pick a target. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. Gotta hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit.